And moving on, with today being a Tuesday, women and girls are not allowed to cross the River Offin, which runs through the Central and Ashanti regions. This is because a taboo bans them from doing so. Also, girls cannot cross the river when they're menstruating. This old discriminatory tradition is hampering girl-child education and limiting socio-economic activities of females. Jojo Kobna reports that the women along the river do not want to fight this tradition, but want government to build a bridge across the river.
River Offin in both Central and Ashanti regions is very sacred. There is an unwritten rule in all communities along the river, and women should not cross it on Tuesdays. In the community of Dencha Chechere, this rule is enforced to the letter. Also, when women or girls are menstruating, they are forbidden from crossing. It is believed that the curse will befall the community when women break this taboo.
The river is having a god of man, so that thing is born on Tuesday. For this reason, it is the Tuesdays when the spirits revoke in the river, maybe some menstrual cycle and those things that we know mention of, we cannot mention of. So as if we mention those things or we detach that things to the river is unclean. So our people or our elderly men saw that all those things attached to women are unclean for that day, Tuesday, because that Tuesday, the gods or the ancestors of the river may having some pacification or something like that. So it's taboo for a woman to attend to the riverside on Tuesdays.
If I'm not I didn't feel 14 years. Because school St. John Methodist Basic School, Mitzi Village, Pakapa Village. My best school at Chichere, and so as I'm a band, just a cross the river and son of my back. Oh, bones, son, so I want to make cross the river if you say it's a woo, then soon. So,
to friend Teresa Glover, I didn't feel 13 years. And I do Tuesdays and so a young man into me school boys and a year almost to me back.
Dorcas and Teresa and many other girls have to cross a river to get an education.
So we are currently crossing the Offin River, and the gods of this river are against girls like Teresa and then Dorcas from menstruating and crossing it. They're against that. They're also against them from crossing on sacred days such as Tuesdays. One very interesting thing is the gods are not against people who are mining in this river. It's quite interesting.
It's a journey where they have to cut through thick cocoa plantations for over an hour. But on Tuesdays and on days that they menstruate, they cannot do that. It is an ancient taboo that is enforced even today. Women and girls are questioning the relevance of this taboo, what is affecting their education.
It is not fair. It is not fair because every day the boys go to school and studies, but we the girls, we can't study all the days.
A peep through the school register shows the full story. Many girls who live across the river are absent from school. Young girls are now questioning this blatant discriminatory practice.
A little the boys no more school, na boys no more, and younger more woman saints, and what's me co school. A cushion, the agui and chin, almost ya, dear singing girls.
According to the girls, the boys do better in school because of this archaic belief.
Oh, won't survive 5 days or 4 days, sir. Want me go school, a be a school, every trouble school crown, no more and dear Gucci, no more and a winnie be a bed. A debate exams crown now, no one's me and say a problem I die any girls I tobacco house sopa.
To give girls the best education, some parents have rented rooms in Chichere so the girls would return to them on weekends and when they are not menstruating.
Me bad doctors say why a class say as I say on to me go school in blood antina me say on God eklom say so boys for musa woman anka ekura dia anase ekrom dia anka matumi ahwe no so yie.
Ama Mansa recounts going into labor on a Tuesday. According to her, crossing the river was not possible because of the taboo. The chief of her community, who has a responsibility to appease to the gods of the river with a goat and gin before she could cross, was not around. So she had to walk for over 2 hours westwards before accessing a health facility to deliver.
I want to come a brand of match 30th March and I come here. I did a panel. Now, break come here, and imagine like in a yard, I am ya. But I say, I told me a cry and say, to me, I take a crack, crass, but mum could do so. No, I will never bomb by say, Yamia day. Only a crack crying to me, Jammy could do chrome quan dear. I said, buy a dim poor. And the day who say, Doctor for a day. Munjam, so now had dear. Almost 1 moon to me, ma. Dear one, I will bed and when a crack, dear, continue me bomb pie soon. Miss say, oh, wammy, I'm to be trained soon. I'm could do chroma. Doctor Fons watching my own.
Ama could easily have died because of this taboo or lost her baby. She does not want to challenge the river god and the old age culture. She simply wants the government to build a bridge over the river so they can cross at will. Margaret Kokoi's son drowned in the River Offin. Her son was on his way to school when the canoe accidentally capsized and he died. Anytime she crosses the river, she recollects this painful memory. She wants the government to build a bridge over the river so that no child would cross the river to school.
It's your neighbor. The Okano on Timika, the Okano. Or no, I see Jada Biamudi, the animal. As I done, I know I'm farmer. And I'm Mimi Banum, the Amudi, the Ankoi. It's Papa no Bufui. And I say some man fight the Anama and the Omanka Sanfa, a shen. It's Omudi Shanukono, and I could and Timibio. And I've been a Papanco Gia, Sianuko Butu. Oh, drew her. No, I say, Semibanu or Waka this tanker. Maybe I won't Kanya, Ebia. Or Pepe, so be a bet me a beshemi. And as I say, I see you free moon prefer. Bretama, only.
Until then, this discriminatory practice would continue to hinder the development of girls and women. Jojo Kobna, Joy News.
Now, right up here of Child Rights International and some women's rights advocates agree that the cultural beliefs underpinning the taboo that makes it impossible or bars women from crossing the river cannot be ignored. But they say traditional authorities can be engaged to get them to have a relook at the taboos. And he believes that government should lead the way.
On their behalf. So you expect that I, in this case, would look at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, with the Ministry of Education, and also the Interior Ministry to handle these particular cases in a manner that would also help them. Initially, some of these things were placed under employment and social welfare, but now we have a different assignment altogether. So we expect these institutions to take the matter up so that we can see to the smooth transition of these cultures to pave way for our children. So basically that is what it is. And sometimes it's a bit difficult when to answer some of these questions, looking at the history of the ministries and what we have experienced from them in the past when it comes to these cultural practices and all that. You remember the witch camp, you remember the trochosy system. They led it and they brought some kind of changes in those areas, though we're still perfecting it, but they led the process. And once they lead the process, you'll see that other institutions will also come on board to ensure that things are done. And now there's a whole campaign about government even giving.
Watching News Desk, we're taking a break now to bring you business news.